We're now streaming live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
1 second.
Is that
The lag. Sorry about that.
is that Allison or
It was.
Rob?
Allison's a little stressed, but we're good. Okay. Yeah.
Better
Okay.
you than me.
Like we were streaming when I said that we were.
It hadn't. Oh,
It's just delayed. Yeah.
Okay, we're now live, it looks like. So we'll resume the public meeting, and the next item on our agenda is the USRE Manitou LLC local blanket waiver request. And Anna is going to give us an update on that and read some communications that we've received from leaders and supervisors and so on. Anna?
Thank you, Anne. I'd like to start with a letter from Town of Gates Supervisor Cosmo Junta, dated May 17th. Dear Anna, as the supervisor of the Town of Gates, I wanted to convey to you that we have been working closely and successfully with the Trammell Crow Company to review all aspects of this project to ensure that they meet local, state, and federal guidelines for the design, development, and construction of a facility of this size. We recognize that TCC has worked closely with COMIDA and others to establish an economic incentive package to attract them to this site, and for that we are grateful. The Town of Gates is excited about this project and the economic activity it will bring in the short term during the construction process, when more than 500 workers per day will be on site, and for the next 20 years, when more than 1,000 permanent employees will bring new life to the Rochester Tech Park and also to the entire region with new wages and buying power, which will continue to define the Town of Gates as a center of commerce for the region. These jobs are highly desirable and needed in this market. We believe that these jobs can and will lift some folks to a new level of earnings and provide new opportunities for them going forward. The Gatestown Board wholeheartedly supports this project, has had excellent dealings with the principals of the firms involved in bringing this deal to our region, and look forward to a new state-of-the-art distribution facility in Gates. I look forward to speaking to your board this week in the discussion of the blanket waiver request by TCC and their contractor, Layton Construction Company. We have offered to assist in identifying local companies to work on this project and believe that TCC and Layton are working hard as hard as possible with all parties to keep as many of the construction jobs local. Please don't hesitate to contact me with any questions. Sincerely, Cosmo Junta, Gatestown Supervisor. The next letter that I'd like to read to this board, also dated May 17th, comes from Robert Duffy, President and CEO of the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce. To the COMIDA Board, on behalf of the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce and our 1,300 members, I urge you to vote in support of the 30% local construction labor waiver requested by Trammell Crow and USAA on behalf of their client, Amazon.com. Upstate New York, especially the Greater Rochester region, cannot afford to pass on nearly $600 million of private capital investment and over 1,200 permanent jobs promised as part of the 2 COMIDA-approved projects in Gates and in Ogden. The individuals working these jobs will purchase homes and cars and frequent malls and restaurants, all of which will have untold positive economic impact for our region for decades ahead. Under any circumstance, rejecting such investment would be misguided. At a time when our region and our state are working to recover from the economic devastation caused by COVID-19, we absolutely cannot allow Amazon to walk away, which it has promised to do in the event that this waiver is not granted. In addition to forfeiting massive investment and employment opportunities, failing to make reasonable accommodations such as this will result in our region being known by the corporate world as closed for business. We will be sending a clear message to every prospective company that upstate New York has no interest in their business and no interest in working with them to create future opportunities. With a promise of 70% local construction labor, approximately 1,400 laborers from the 10-county region will find employment through Rock One and Gates alone, with over $40 million in construction costs flowing into the regional economy based solely on construction. The developers have promised that 60% of this workforce will be union affiliated. Conditions negotiated by this board with the developer and with Amazon.com ensure a robust checks and balances system to see that 70% local labor is the minimum proportion at the site. Anything less than that would trigger consequences. In the event that this request is denied, Trammell Crow will treat the land it now owns in Gates and Ogden as assets to sell. Our region has an unfortunate habit of rebuffing opportunity. We must change that narrative by embracing investment and positive development. Rejecting outright the jobs and investment being offered will not be a punishment to Amazon and it will not be a punishment to big business. It will be a punch in the gut to those people in our region desperately looking for good paying jobs to build better lives for themselves and their families. For these reasons, I respectfully request you vote in favor of allowing this waiver. The final letter that I'm going to read to this board today comes from Bill Goodrich of the Chase.
Jay, join us.
Oh,
We have
apologies.
Jay back. He's
Yes,
dropped
I'm
off.
back.
We have him back.
Oh, my bad. I'm
missed
sorry
you.
about that.
Yeah.
Our final letter comes from Bill Goodrich of Chase Construction. Good morning, COMIDA board representatives. We understand that there are ongoing discussions with Amazon and their representatives. I am certain that you are all aware how important economic development is for our region, and this opportunity could be significant for our region. As you know, Chase is committed to local labor and union trades. For this project, due to the magnitude and schedule, we believe that certain trades cannot staff adequately with local labor, considering ongoing work in the area. Please take this into consideration as negotiations finalize relative to the local labor waiver. We have attached correspondence delivered to Leighton, the construction manager. We also believe that any minor concessions for local labor are far outweighed by the overall economic benefit to our local region. Please know that we are available if you have any questions or we can assist you with your decision. Best regards, Bill Goodrich, CEO and Managing Partner of Chase. And that correspondence reference that's attached is the letter that James Marie Coleman referenced from Eric Colavecchio, project executive, stating that 80%, it's stating that Chase is performing concrete work associated with the building concrete foundations and currently forecasting that they will be utilizing approximately 80% local labor and will be partnering with another concrete firm within the state to assist with manpower to achieve the remaining 20%. That correspondence is dated May 17th and Mr. Goodrich's letter is dated this morning, May 18th. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Anna? Any other comments?
No, I just wanted to express my gratitude to this board for all of your thoughtful considerations, questions, and comments throughout this process. This has been a long time that we've been deliberating, and I know it's been a labor-intensive process for all of us, and members of our board are volunteers, so appreciate that.
Thank you. I would just say too that I appreciate the fact that we're looking at the big picture here and what the impacts will be because of the project. That I think we want to certainly cooperate and be helpful to them. They are doing, I think, their best to be helpful to us. But the revenues coming into the community are not insignificant. I think Anna mentioned it's the largest project that we've had to come before the board, and we very much need to understand the impacts of our actions today, and hopefully would continue to look at the 1,000 permanent jobs, 2,000 temporary jobs, 1,400 of which would be local labor, and all the revenues that we've talked about. That just doesn't come along often enough to help restore all the jobs that were lost by Kodak and other companies over the years. So it's a huge influx of economic benefits and impacts to our community. All right, I will read the motion. And the motion we have before us is to approve the waiver of the local labor policy in connection with no more than 30% of the total labor costs, which will result in approximately $40,886,118 awarded to local labor contracts and approximately $17,522,622 awarded to non-local labor contracts, provided the following condition is met. local labor representatives to be determined are included in weekly on-site project status meetings. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion,
So
Ann.
moved.
Thank you, Joe. And,
I'll second it in.
Okay, all right. So Joe made the motion, Tony seconded. Any additional comments or questions that we haven't already discussed today?
I
Okay,
do want
I'll
to make,
take-
I do want to make a comment on putting somebody on the board over at the site once a week or twice a week. You know, as a volunteer, is this going to be a rotating, is the board going to be offered to go over there? Or is it just going to be me? And if so, I find that hard to explain to my membership that now I am placed on a situation monitoring a job site that doesn't actually pertain to the people that pay my wages. Just
I
want to
think,
let,
Anna, do you want to answer that? I think we would try to,
Certainly.
manage our way through that and get the resources we need.
The
So-
opportunity to monitor the site on a weekly basis, we offered to every member of this board as well as our staff. So our team here at COMIDA is happy to stand in. Troy, when you're available, we'd love for you to participate as appropriate and according to your availability. James Marie Coleman from Trammell Crow also offered the same opportunity to Jay Popley. So we can have those discussions and commit that at least one member of this team will be on site at those weekly junctures on an ongoing basis,
thank you.
myself included.
Okay. All right. I will take a roll call vote. Jay Popley,
No.
Tony,
Yes.
Rhett? Rhett,
No.
Troy,
No,
Joe,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
and Ann is a yes. Motion carries. Congratulations. And thanks for everyone's hard work and deliberations on this matter. Okay, next item on the agenda is to review our local labor monitoring report. Is Kevin Loki on the line?
Yeah, give us 1 second. He's coming on.
Okay.
Okay, Kevin's on now.
Okay, Kevin, you want to give us an update on local labor monitoring report?
Yes, good morning. So I have the April 2021 monthly COMIDA report, covers our visits between April 1st and April 30th. During this period, we made 68 monthly site visits. We made 7 follow-up visits during that period. We checked with residency for 486 workers. Of those, we had 14 that were non-compliant. 12 of those were no proof of residence over a series of 5 projects. We had 2 out of area, and that was over 2 projects. As of April 30th, all monitored sites were in compliance at the time of our inspection. We had 5 new COMIDA signs delivered. Fab Exchange Inc., Butler Till Media Services Inc., 93 Marsh Street LLC, Indus South Union Street LLC, as well as Facility 4 Inc.
Okay, any questions for Kevin? All right, thank you, Kevin. Oh, was there a question?
Yeah, this is Jay. Kevin, what were those projects? Were there any repeat, or was it just, basically what we see, which is just people don't have their ID?
The majority of the jobs were just people didn't have ID. In some cases, it was my first visit to the job. So it was my first visit, which you tend to get more non-compliance on the initial visit if people aren't necessarily prepared for it. And then afterwards, everyone's better prepared. So it was kind of just the usual thing, nothing really out of the ordinary to report, I'd say, Jay.
Okay, so when you went back, the people that, did most of the people that didn't have ID then have proper ID?
I believe everyone did on my repeat visits, Jay. That's correct.
Perfect, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
Mhm. Brian LaFountain, next item on the agenda, the local labor exemption report. Brian?
Yes, I have, excuse me, sorry. I have 3 local labor exemptions requests that were processed in the month of April. The first one is related to the USRE Manitou LLC project. This project or this exemption is related to the installation or erection of the precast wall panels at the project site. The exempted contractor is Fabcon Precast out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. This is a specialized construction, no local labor available criteria, where Fabcon did commit to utilizing 10% of local labor for this process. Any questions on the first one? Okay.
Going.
Hearing none. The second one is related to the FCP Driving Park LLC, or the also known as the Farmer John's Popcorn Facility. This is an exemption related to the installation of the specialty flooring systems at the site. This was a warranty issue whereby the manufacturer required the installation to be performed by one of their certified installers. In this instance, their certified installer was East Coast Epoxy Floors out of New Jersey. And again, that was a warranty issue. Any questions on that one? None. Okay. Last is the RLP3 Grease LLC project. This exemption was related to the installation of 2 pre-engineered van loading canopies and 2 aluminum ride share shelters at the project site on Lexington Avenue. The exempted contractor is Octagon Services, doing business as Shelters Direct. They're out of Laurel, Maryland. This is a warranty exemption whereby, similar to the last one we just discussed, the manufacturer requires the installation of the specialized equipment related to their warranty, and that's why they wanted to bring in Shelters Direct out of Maryland. That was the final.
Okay, any questions for Brian? All right, thank you, Brian. All right, Greg, for our financial report.
Okay, thanks, Ann. 4 months into our fiscal year, you can see from our statement of financial position that we continue to strengthen our balance sheet with the result of all these new projects. You know, as challenging of a year last year was, I mean, certainly the rebound here is really unbelievable. You know, so again, you look at our cash position, we've really built that back up to where it was last March with the revenue generated from the projects. All the other receivables and prepaids and accounts payable, there's nothing out of the ordinary there. They all line up with our expectations. You know, going down to the statement of our activities through the 4 months, we're almost close to our annual budget, revenue budget amount, which is really, you know, like I said, significant compared to, you know, last year at this time, and hopefully we continue to move on this path over the next 8 months. But 1.9 million generated in revenue. Our expenses are basically right on budget, or a little bit better than budget. But again, we feel like some of those things will pick up back on track with the Empower project. But overall, a significantly great start to the year. Basically, a net profit of almost over $1.4 million to start, although that, will change as projects and expenses, kind of change over the next 8 months, but still looking for a really successful year for the organization.
Thanks, Greg. That's really solid performance. I remember I worked for a boss who, if you'd done an A++ job, her best comment would be, "That's a solid performance." But the fact that we're well ahead of budgeted revenues and total actual expenses are well under our budget, it is a good, certainly a good year-to-date update on our finances. Any questions for Greg? Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Greg. Project applications. The first project is Rochester Clinical Research, Inc. Do we have people that we're bringing online for this?
Yes, Anne.
Okay. Are they on?
Yeah, we've got Pat Larrabee is connecting. Kelly Powers is on.
Okay, good. I just didn't see them all. All right. So the first project is Rochester Clinical Research, Inc. And Anna's going to walk us through the application summary.
Thank you. Rochester Clinical Research, Inc. is proposing to renovate its existing building in the town of Irondequoit to accommodate business growth. Rochester Clinical Research, founded in 1994, provides access to clinical research studies and has conducted more than 900 clinical trials involving more than 35,000 volunteers, including recent COVID-19 vaccine trials. The $1.3 million project is projected to create 12 new FTEs. The applicant is seeking approval of sales tax exemptions only, and the benefit to incentive ratio is 24:1.
Okay, so we have Patricia Larrabee. Thanks, Anna. Patricia Larrabee, Adam Larrabee, and Kelly Powers. Would you like to elaborate further with us on this project?
Sure, happy to. Well, what other information would be helpful to you? I mean, we have had pretty much record growth in the past year and a half, and really do need the additional space in the building. Unfortunately, it's pretty much a crisis need for us to expand. In order to, we have people currently sitting on shredders for their desks because we are so crammed in here, and we do have the need for additional staff as well. So the costs of construction have just skyrocketed the past year, as you all know, and it's really getting to the point where if we can't do it, I'm not quite sure what our options are in terms of remaining in the same location, which is ideal for us.
It's very impressive track record of all of the COVID vaccine trials that you've been involved in, and management of all the volunteers and just the impact.
Thank you. We're currently doing the pediatric portions of all those studies, as well as booster portions with the variants for all the people. So the workload is still quite intense, and I expect will be for some time to come, as there's quite a bit more questions we have. We have more questions than answers, although we're getting some answers, and some return to normalcy and that's a result of all these folks who volunteered. So it's really a wonderful community that's been very supportive of research over the years.
That's great. Okay. So there was no, any questions from the board? No, okay. There was no public hearing held on this project. And so I'll ask you the local labor questions. Are you aware of our local labor policy?
Yes.
Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
No.
Are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The seeker process is complete. We'll now move forward with the reading of the resolution. Anna?
A regular meeting of the County of Monroe Industrial Development Agency was held at the agency's offices at 50 West.
I make a motion that you don't have to read the resolution or any preceding resolutions. I apologize.
Yeah, I second that, Ann.
Okay, seconded it by Joe. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, so I'll ask now for a motion for inducement and final resolution approving a sales tax exemption. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
I'll motion
Okay.
in.
Okay, I think Joe, I heard Joe and Jay. Any additional comments or questions? All right, I'll take a roll call vote. Jay,
Yes.
Tony? Tony? Did we lose Tony?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
thank
I'm
you.
here.
Thank you, Tony. Brett?
Yay.
Thank you. Troy?
Yay.
Joe?
Yay.
Elisa?
Yay.
And Ann is a yay. It's a unanimous vote. So congratulations, motion carries. And good luck to you and continued success.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. Your team made it very, very easy for us and was extremely helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Skywave Communications. Anna, do you want to, let's see, do we have Fanny De Laterra on the line?
Yes.
Yes, okay, all right. So would you like to walk us through the application summary, Anna?
Yes, thank you, Anne. Skywave Communications, Inc. is a Motorola Solutions Service Elite Specialist and Certified Service Center. The team is comprised of highly experienced professionals who design, install, and maintain public safety communication networks and equipment. Skywave Communications is proposing to purchase a new Ford F-450 chassis, as well as a new Ford Transit van with customization. The vehicle's purchase price totals $130,523 and has been approved for a great rebate on the vehicle purchase through the Monroe County Industrial Development Corporation. Skywave Communications is seeking approval of the EquiPlus sales tax exemption through COMIDA. The project is expected to create 2 new FTEs, and the cost benefit ratio is 21:1.
Thank you. And Ms. De Laterra,
Yes.
do you have additional comments you'd like to make?
I just that we need to replace the vehicles and get a new one. We're in the public safety communications industry, so our work has been pretty steady, even given current circumstances. And unless you need any more information, I think that's all I have.
Okay, great. Any questions by the board? All right, there wasn't a public hearing required for this project. I'll ask you some local labor questions. Are you aware of our local labor policy?
Yes.
Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
No.
Are you aware that any exemptions need to be requested 45 days in advance?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
The seeker process is complete. We have waived the reading of the resolution. And now I'll ask for a motion for inducement and final resolution approving a sales tax exemption.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Lisa.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Tony. Any additional comments, questions? Hearing none, I will take a roll call vote. Jay?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Brett?
Yay.
Troy?
Yay.
Joe?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yay.
And Ann's a yay. That's another unanimous vote. All right, motion carries, and thank you and good luck to you with your new equipment.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Next item is Sun Density Inc. And we have a couple of folks joining us for that. Are they on with us?
Hello, this is Dr. Nish.
Okay, great. All right, we're going to talk about your project. That's a nice scenery you have behind you.
Thank you.
Okay. So Anna, would you like to walk us through the project summary?
Certainly, thank you, Anne. Sun Density Inc., a producer of photonic smart coatings for utility solar power producers, is planning to develop a manufacturing R&D and headquarters facility in the city of Rochester. Phase 1 of the project is to establish offices and lab space in the Sibley building downtown. Phase 2 is to establish full pilot manufacturing and R&D operations at a location to be determined. This $75,000 phase 1 portion is projected to create 14 new FTEs. The applicant is seeking approval of sales tax exemptions only. The benefit to incentive ratio is 791 to 1.
Okay, thanks, Anna. So, Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Graysock, would you care to make some comments on this?
I believe
Okay.
Dr. Sunwalker will comment. Dr. Nish.
Yeah, so I'm the founder and CEO of Sun Density. We are very excited to be in the city and especially in the opportunity zone to increase the number of jobs especially in Rochester. I'm originally from Boston, but I think we moved to Rochester because Rochester provides some unique qualification for a photonic company like us. And we were recipient of the Illuminate $1 million award to be the photonic smart coding company in Rochester. So we intend to be in Rochester and grow our company. And I think initial estimate that we gave 14 FTEs will probably grow to much larger size as we go to the phase 2, where we expect to get almost like 200 FTEs. But that will not be in phase 1. Phase 1 is to just get the R&D started. And then the phase 2 will be much bigger, and we will bring in a $3.8 million machine in Rochester in order to grow the jobs and opportunities for highly skilled labor that you already have in Rochester area with UFR and RIT.
So that's great that you're moving into the Sibley building.
Yeah, I think part of our goal here and as a reason we are trying to be in Sibley is because this pilot line will be demonstrated to all the major solar companies and the glass companies. So we want to have the right look and feel to bring them in and show them our pilot line so that they will be highly impressed with us and with the city. And then we will be able to get more bigger contract to have more jobs in Rochester.
Okay, thank you. Do we have questions from our board on this matter? All right, hearing none, there wasn't a public hearing required on this project. I have some local labor questions for you. Are you aware of our local labor policy?
Greg, you want to take that question? Because Greg is from Rochester. He knows all about Rochester.
Yes, I'm aware of the policy. The one question we did have, having not been through this cycle before, though, was that the equipment installation for the main sample production in phase 1 will come from a vendor in New Jersey, and their staff will install the equipment. Does that require an exemption, or because that equipment is coming from the vendor, it doesn't require any other exemptions? That's the only question we have.
Rachel, do you want to respond to that?
Sure. The fact that the vendors from New Jersey is not problematic. If the installers are from New Jersey, then you will need to work with our local labor waiver processor, Brian LaFountain, and we'll get you in touch with him right away, and he will vet that request.
All right, and we'll check with our vendor to confirm what their installation resource requirements are. But it's a specialized piece of equipment, right, Dr. Nish? I would think that they'd have their own staff doing the install.
Yes.
We'll get you in touch with Brian right away, and Ann will ask some additional questions. We do have a 45-day requirement that any waiver documentation be submitted 45 days in advance before anyone from out of the area is on site.
Okay.
Okay.
Can get that done.
So I'll go back to my questions. Do you anticipate any local labor exemptions at this time?
I think we may need a couple of people who are installers coming out of New Jersey to be exempted. But we plan to use all the labor from the local labor pool. So I don't think that's just for a few days they have to come and install. That's about it.
Okay, so, and Rachel's advised you that when you become aware of the exemptions, that you need to request those 45 days in advance.
We'll do that. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the seeker process is complete. We've waived the reading of the resolution. I'll now ask for a motion, inducement, and final resolution approving a sales tax exemption. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. Is there a second?
I'll second in.
Thank you, Joe. Any additional comments, questions? All right, I'll take a roll call. Jay?
Abstain.
I put that note down and I forgot, so thank you. All right, Tony?
Yes.
Rhett?
Yay.
Troy?
Yay.
Joe?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
And Anne is a yay. Motion carries. So congratulations to Sun Density and good luck to you on your phase one.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay, project modifications. The first one is AMS Sensors USA Inc., which is an extension. And let's see, let me get it in front of me. Are you going to walk us through it, Anna?
Yes, Ann. AMS Sensors USA, Inc. has located its first U.S. location at Riverwood Tech Campus in the town of Henrietta. The Rochester Design Center for AMS Sensors will be focusing on the growing market of consumer image sensor modules, the eyeball of a camera. The applicant is requesting an extension of the sales tax exemption through December 31st, 2021, as construction was delayed and the start date was pushed back.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion to approve an extension of the sales tax exemption through December 31, 2021. Is there a motion? Was that Rhett? Rhett, thank you. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Lisa, okay, thank you. Any additional comments, questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we had, no, we didn't have any abstentions. So motion carries. Thank you. All right, next modification, Panorama Landing, LLC, Anna?
Panorama Landing LLC, or PL, a Galena real estate development company, received board approval in April 2016 for a $9,935,000 redevelopment project in the former Washington Drive-In Theater site in the town of Pittsford. The approximately 21-acre site is being developed into a new business park with 5 single-story office buildings. In November of 2018, Panorama Landing received a renewal of the sales tax exemption on the remainder of phase 1 as the project had expired. In June of 2020, the applicant received an increase in the amount of the mortgage to $2.8 million, which results in mortgage reporting tax savings of $21,000. The applicant is now requesting an extension of the sales tax exemption through June 30th, 2022 to finish the final build out of the project.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Any questions on this? All right, we'll waive the reading of the resolution and I'll ask for a motion to approve an extension of the sales tax exemption through June 30, 2022.
So moved, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Is there a second?
Royal second.
Thank you, Troy. Any additional comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. 2016 Gateway Business Center. Anna?
Thank you. 2016 Gateway Business Center LLC, a real estate holding company, is developing a 3-building commercial development in the town of Greece. The 3 buildings will contain office and warehouse space. The project was approved by the board in April of 2016 for a mortgage recording tax exemption, sales tax exemption, and a real property tax abatement. An extension of the sales tax exemption was previously approved in 2017. The applicant is seeking a renewal and extension of the sales tax exemption through December 31st, 2022. Significant delays were experienced when purchasing the membership from the original owner, as well as COVID-19 related delays. New tenants in the first building include Zoom Drain Plumbing, repair contractor, Atlantic Funding and Real Estate, and Soho Bagel Company.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board on this? Okay, hearing none, we are waiving the reading of the resolution, and I'll ask for a motion to approve an extension of the sales tax exemption through December 31, 2022, and approve new tenants.
So moved, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Is there a second?
Tony will second.
Thank you, Tony. Any additional comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Amazon.com Services LLC. Anna?
Thank you, Anne. Amazon.com Services LLC is the tenant and co-applicant to USRE Manitou LLC, which is constructing a 2.6 million square foot warehouse and distribution facility to be leased to Amazon.com Services LLC in the town of Gates. The project was approved by the board in January of 2021. USRE Manitou LLC was originally approved for mortgage recording tax exemption, sales tax exemption, as well as a custom property tax abatement. This approval included $100 million in non-manufacturing equipment purchases for Amazon.com Services LLC, who is now requesting an increase in project costs of $100 million. The total project cost is now $512 million, and the new sales tax exemption benefit amount for Amazon.com Services LLC is $16 million. The new cost benefit ratio for the project is now 7-to-1. The original was 8-to-1.
Okay, thank you. Do we have Brad Griggs on the line?
Yes.
Yes, good morning again.
Good morning again. Any comments on this modification? Brad?
Oh, apologies. Chairwoman, no, the increase on the application is due to our understanding of being able to put these buildings into practice as we're getting closer to finalizing the project in Onondaga County and several others throughout North America. The original application was sort of a baseline material handling equipment budget for these larger facilities, as we have not yet launched one of the potential size that we're considering here before the board. And so as we've been able to get facilities closer to launch, we've been able to understand what it would take to properly outfit these locations. And so that is the result of the increase before the board here this morning.
Okay, thank you. Do we have questions by the board on this?
So Brad, is this additional robotics equipment and, conveyors and things like that?
Correct. So this would be additional material handling equipment as well as the robotics in this facility, in the proposed facility.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, hearing none, we will waive the reading of the resolution. And there was a public hearing on May 13th. Were there any comments at that meeting, Rachel?
No, there were not.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll now ask for a motion to approve an increase in project costs of $100 million. Is there a motion?
I'll motion in.
Thank you, Joe. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Tony. Any additional comments, questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
I'm opposed.
Troy is opposed. All right, and motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Brad. Is there anything else you'd like? No.
Thank you very much, everyone on the board.
Thank you very much. We're delighted. Okay. Next item is the government's committee report. Jay? Jay?
Sorry,
Go on.
sorry about that. Can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. We had a governance committee meeting on April 29th. We covered a range of topics. The first one was the city's request to expand the choice program, which encourages home ownership in the city. It's currently available only to contiguous sites, and the city would like to expand that to non-contiguous sites. And in general, the committee was in favor of that. The city also requested a reduction or elimination of COMIDA administrative and attorney fees, and that was not supported by the committee. The second topic, and most of these are just FYIs for the board as actions. As these move to more actionable things, we'll bring them before the whole board. We reviewed incentive for housing, and we focused on having an evaluation criteria. We haven't come to any conclusion, and conversation continues, but we certainly expect to bring before the board some modifications on how we look at housing in the future. The third topic was the exemptions for warranty items, which we see a number of, and specifically was to try and bring in a apprenticeship program when these exemptions are asked for. And we also discussed using the Rochester Builders Exchange, their plan room for future projects. Once again, we'll continue to have some discussions. There was no consensus reached, but once there is, we will certainly bring that before the board. And finally, seems like no meeting is complete without a discussion of the Manitow Road project, which the board in general has discussed in excruciating detail. So that is the report from our meeting on April 29th, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jay. Any questions for Jay?
Jay, I know that we suspended the last governance meeting there last week. Being that labor today has taken a step backwards, can I ask that we come up with a schedule of meetings going forward, as we now are going to see how intense these conversations of waivers are going to get? Labor took a step backwards today. So we need to address this sooner than later.
Fair point, Troy. And Robin, I will ask that we set up a meeting here in the next few weeks to continue our conversations and hopefully reach some sort of conclusion that we can present before the board.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jay. Anna, do you have any additional discussion items?
I do not. I appreciate everyone's time and dedication. Today was a very long and intense meeting. So thank you all, as always, and to our staff.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you to the whole team for all of your diligence throughout this process. And there were significant issues, but everyone made themselves available to give them thoughtful consideration. And I too appreciate all of our board members rearranging their schedules, as well as our applicants, to meet the new meeting time. So I appreciate that. I appreciate our board members, because I think there's a great deal of personal time that's committed to this for the broader good of the county. And we wouldn't be here without you. So we appreciate all that you do.
And
Yes.
and I'd just like to say, I'd like this 9 o'clock, but if we can move it up to 6 o'clock in the morning, that would be great.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. We're not that flexible. Thanks, Tony. Anyone have anything else to bring up? Our next meeting is June 15th, 2021 at noon. So I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Jay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Tony. Oh, any other thoughts on that? Hearing none, the meeting is now adjourned. And I did bring a gavel today so that if everybody got unruly, I could have used
got her
the gavel.
Hit it, Ann. Hit that gavel.